I'm Jocelyn Clark. Welcome back to another weekly episode of our live newscast by our students journalist.
Of the Maya Theater Cinema because this is where our ballot drop-off is located at.
Even though Nguyen and Davis are still focusing in school and are preparing to graduate next year, they are not surprised students are dropping out of Fresno State. Mariah actually is at the local pumpkin patch now. Happy Pumpkin Day, Mariah!
Like young Cox and myself, we had the opportunity to study abroad. We love our time and experience in a new country and culture.
Every year, Fresno State Cross Cultural and Gender Center, along with the Women's Alliance, hosts Take Back the Night. For those who haven't or won't get a chance to hunt down a pumpkin this month, don't worry. SAI is having a booth at Carnival Nightmare event this weekend that gives you a chance to win a free one. How will that affect California and Fresno State? It was amazing. So I went to South Korea last spring. I learned a little bit of the culture, the food, and of course the language. It was the hardest, but still, I love it.
Creativity can help us create works of beauty, problem solve, and refresh our minds and bodies to finish strong this semester. This is a common sight. Focus students heading to class. What is not easy to see is the hard time some of these students go through. Fresno State lost about 160 students in the first 4 weeks of school.
Last year, we had about 90 students who had dropped from the first day of classes to today. So in comparison, we have roughly 70 more students who have dropped out of the university compared to last fall.
However, there are students like Julie Nguyen, who is part of the Smith Camp Family Honors College. The program is designed to keep students engaged and focused on their degree, even after 2 years of pandemic learning.
They have a hope that once they get back onto campus, they can interact with their cohort, they can interact with their friends, they can interact with the Smith Camp office, faculty.
Nguyen says the idea is to keep students engaged.
We didn't want any scholars to drop out.
But some have. Last year, 2 of Nguyen's friends dropped out as freshmen. They didn't like online learning. However, for other students like Levi Davis, COVID made it easier for them to focus on school.
I decided to come to Fresno State because it was an easier route for me, being close and in the area. A lot of my friends either went to JCs or transferred to bigger universities or just stayed home to work. So yeah, I made a lot of new friends since I've been here, and it's been a fun time.
Even though Nguyen and Davis are still focusing in school and are preparing to graduate next year, they are not surprised students are dropping out of Fresno State. At Fresno State, Jocelyn Clark, Fresno State Focus. Proposition 26 and 27 may determine future sports in California. Estela Nay Jaramillo, sports editor of The Collegian, is here now to give us more insight. Thank you for joining us, Estela.
Thank you for having me.
So, what are Propositions 26 and 27?
So both have to do with sports gambling here in California since it is currently illegal. So passing those two propositions, specifically with 26, will allow sports gambling on Native American tribal lands, and Proposition 27 specifically focuses on online sports gambling, so bringing software like DraftKings or FanDuel here to California.
And how will that affect California and Fresno State?
So there's different things that people have brought up between the two propositions. Specifically with Proposition 27, there's passing it would allow the homelessness initiative, so they will be able to get the tax revenue from online sports gambling to use for the homelessness in Fresno. But obviously, there's the other side saying that there can be other ways to find and tax for that homelessness initiative.
It seems like students are more worried about 26 and 27. What could that be?
I think a lot of it has to be with gambling in general. It's not a positive stigma, so bringing that will make it a lot easily accessible, especially with Proposition 27 being specifically with online gambling.
Everyone has a phone nowadays, so it's really easy. But really, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us, and see you next week.